Hello children, how are you all? I hope you are fine. I am fine here. This is Dakshayani handling biology from Bhadasnath Metric Higher Secondary School, Arakkonam. Children, today we are going to see the last session of Kingdom Animalia. Right, in the previous classes we have discussed about all the phylums, and in this session we are going to discuss the last two classes of phylum Chordata, that is subphylum Vertebrata. We are going to see the last two classes, that is class Aves and class Mammalia. So let us go into the topic. So why they should name it as a Aves, right? Because in Latin Aves means bird. In Latin Aves means bird. So mostly all the organisms are named in Latin and Greek, right? So they come under the class Aves. And what are all the, if you see a bird, what are all the special characters you find? Yes, birds will fly. With the help of what? With the help of its feathers. The birds will fly with the help of its wings. Right. So the birds, the forelimbs are modified into wings. Forelimbs are modified into wings and they help in flying, and they also have their hind legs. It is used for what? Perching, climbing the trees, right? So it possesses two limbs, the forelimbs modified into wings and the hind limbs for walking, okay, and for holding the, for example, if you see an eagle or something, it uses claws to hold the organism, its prey. So all the birds cannot fly, children. Even though they have feathers, some birds cannot fly. So we can say the such birds as flightless birds. Flightless birds. They cannot fly. The example are ostrich. But the ostrich can run very fast, right? Ostrich, and it is the largest cell. Ostrich egg is the largest cell, right? And kiwi. What is the name of the bird, children? Kiwi. This bird cannot fly. And some other examples of the flightless birds are penguins. Penguins, they cannot fly. And the another example is emu. So what are all the four flightless birds, children? Ostrich, penguin, kiwi and emu. And now we are going to see about the exoskeleton and the endoskeleton. What do you mean by exoskeleton? Yes, which is present outside. For example, if you see the birds, what are all the coverings? You can see scales, and some possess the feathers. Right, so these are all the exoskeleton. And the birds, endoskeleton, the skeleton which is present is fully ossified. Ossified means weightless. They have many pores inside. So because if the bone is too weight, it cannot fly. So the birds possess the skeleton which is less in weight. So we can call them as pneumatic bones. Just underline in your book, children. Pneumatic bones, fully ossified, so that the birds are very weightless, so it can fly. And some birds possess the oil gland or the preen gland. Oil gland or the preen gland. Preen gland, right? So which secretes the oil. You can see the birds, the feathers are very shining. That is due to this oil glands. And you can see some birds, they clean their skin with the help of its beaks also. So preen gland or the oil gland, it is present at the base of the tail. And now respiration. The respiration is through lungs. Respiration is through the lungs. This is the lungs, children. It has a pair of lungs. But numerous air sacs are present. This is the air sacs. The small outgrowths from the lungs, we call it as the air sacs. So, air sacs are present. So, the lungs possess more air sacs. And next we are going to study about the circulation. That is the heart. Circulation. It possesses the four-chambered heart like us. Like human beings, the birds also possess the four-chambered heart. That is two auricles. It is a left auricle. This is a right auricle. This right ventricle and left ventricle. So, they possess the four-chambered heart and they are said to be homeothermic. What do you mean by the word homeothermic? Homeothermic, that is they have the constant body temperature. But we discussed amphibians and reptiles are poikilothermic. They change their body temperature according to the climate. But birds do not change. And now we are going to see about the movement. We see children, the birds used to fly, right? And the strokes of the wings will be up and down. So, it possesses two types of muscles which helps them in flying. So, this is a muscle, pectoralis muscle, and it is divisible into two, one at the front side and at the back, dorsal and ventral. So, one is a pectoralis major, pectoralis major. The another type of muscle is a pectoralis minor. Right, one is present on the upside and another one on the down. Pectoralis major helps in the upward stroke. When the bird do like this, pectoralis major is helpful. When the wings flows down, pectoralis minor is helpful. So, this is about the wings, that is the muscles of the birds. And here kidneys are present, metanephric kidneys, it is a well developed kidneys are present and the sexes are separate, male and female are separate and sexual reproduction takes place, and we can say the eggs are megalecythal. What do you mean by megalecythal? Megalecythal means they have more amount of yolk. More amount of yolk is present in the bird's eggs. And now this is a kidney, children. This is a kidney which is brown in color, and we can see the reproductive organs are attached to the kidney. So, this white structures, this structure we call it as a testis. Here also a testis which is attached to the kidneys, and the bird has the same opening. They do not have urinary bladder to store the urine. For the urine, waste excretion as well as the secretion for reproduction also they have the same opening. So, we call it as a cloaca or cloacal aperture, cloaca we say. So, in male two pairs of testes are seen, but in the female, you just see children, here also the kidneys are present, but only one ovary is functional. For example, this is a so, here you can see only one ovary is functional, the left ovary is functional, but the right ovary is rudimentary, it is not functional. So, the birds possess, it is from this also the neat questions are asked children, the birds possess only one ovary from which the eggs are produced, ova are produced, but one is the right ovary is rudimentary, it is not functional, or we can also say it as atrophy. Atrophy means not functional, atrophy. So, this is about the reproductive system of the birds. And now let us see some of the examples. The examples are pigeon, right? This you are going to study about in the 4th lesson, children, about the entire characters of this pigeon, and its name is, scientific name is Columba livia. Columba livia. Columba livia. So, pigeon. And Corvus splendens. Corvus splendens, what is it? Yes, it is a crow. Corvus splendens. The common name is crow. The common name here is pigeon. Pura. And some other examples are parrot, and what is this bird, children? Yes, you might have seen this in a zoo. Flamingo. Flamingo. And some other examples are our national bird, peacock. So, Pavo cristatus. Pavo cristatus, it is a peacock. And vulture. Vulture, right? And the another example, important example is emerald dove. Emerald dove. About this we might have studied in the first lesson also. Emerald dove. It is a state bird of Tamil Nadu, right? In Tamil we say it as Maragadapura, and the scientific name is Chalcopaps indica. Chalcopaps indica. Indica. So, this is a scientific name of this emerald dove. And now we are going to discuss about the last class. It is a class Mammalia. We also comes under this, children, and when compared to other classes, this class Mammalia is highly advanced because they have the greater intelligence. They have the larger brain, and when compared to other organisms, mammals is of higher intelligence. And now we are going to see some of the characteristic features of class Mammalia. Yes, in Latin, mamma means breast. Mamma means breast. The organisms which possess the breast, we call it as Mammalia, and they possess some of the unique features, right? What are all the unique features of class Mammalia? Yes, they possess the mammary glands. They possess the mammary glands and epidermal hairs. And epidermal hair, that is, the skin is covered by the hair. Epidermal hair. From this, 2 more questions may ask. What are the characteristic features of mammals? These two is the answer. It possesses the mammary glands and epidermal hairs. And now we are going to see some of the modifications, right? For example, in our skin we can see the hair, and we human beings, we have the nails, right? Skin outgrowths as a nails. But some animals like a lion, cat or a tiger, they possess the claws. Claws. See what is sharp structure, children? Claws. The sharp one, claws. It helps in what? Running and also climbing, holding, and some lead a burrowing life. You can see the cats dig the pit in the ground. So, for burrowing, for all these things they use the claws, right? And some other modifications are horns, right? You can see the horns. It's very beautiful, no, children? Horns. And some organisms possess the hoofs also. So, these are all the outgrowths of the skin. And some of the organisms in mammals, they possess the sweat glands. They possess the sweat glands. Yes, we sweat, right? Sweat glands and sebaceous gland. Sebaceous glands, that is, you can see some oil. If you touch your skin or a face, you can feel some oilness. That is due to the secretion of the sebaceous gland. It helps in removing the dirt from our skin. So, sebaceous gland. And the mammals possess the teeth. And teeth, we can classify them into three. Thecodont, heterodont, என்னாச்சு சார்? என்னாச்சு? மங்கி எதனா இழுத்துச்சாங்க? குரங்கு இழுத்துச்சு நினைக்கிறேன் சார். Children, now we are going to discuss about the teeth. They have three types of, according to the dentition arrangements of the teeth, we can classify them into three. One is a thecodont, heterodont, and dipyodont. That is, thecodont means they are enclosed in the bony sockets. For example, you can see a teeth. Our teeth are embedded in the bones. That is the upper teeth in the upper row in the maxilla and in the lower row in the mandible. Right? So, the teeth are present in the bony sockets. So, such type of teeth we call it as thecodont. Heterodont means we have different types of teeth. For example, in front we have the cutting teeth. For example, rabbits you can see incisors, right, cutting. And for example, if you see a cat or a tiger or a lion, you can see this incisors or the teeth is very sharp, right. So, different types of teeth for grinding, molars, premolars. So, they possess four types of teeth: canines, incisors, premolars and molars. Since there are four types of teeth, we can say it as heterodont. And last one is dipyodont. Two types of teeth we can see. For example, if you take a human child, at the time of from after birth until the age of 8 or 9, it possesses the temporary teeth. We say it as a milk teeth. But after growth, after what happens, all the teeth swell and new teeth starts to grow. Since the teeth occurs 2 times in their life, we can say it as a dipyodont. It occurs 2 times. So, these are all the some of the characteristics of the mammals. Heart is 4-chambered and we possess a pigment called hemoglobin, and the RBCs are circular, biconcave, and they are non-nucleated. They are non-nucleated. They do not possess the nucleus. And then we can say this, the respiration in the mammals takes place through the lungs. We breathe through the lungs. And sexes are separate, male and female. And the sexual reproduction takes place. Fertilization is internal. It takes place inside the body of the female. And we can say they are viviparous. Viviparous. What do you mean by viviparous? Viviparous means they give birth to a live young ones. Kutti podradhu. Right? They do not lay the eggs. But there is one exception also that we will see in the examples. Most are viviparous. They give birth to a live young ones. Now, we are going to see some of the examples. Ornithorhynchus, right? Platypus. We say common name is platypus. It is oviparous. It is the only mammal which lays the eggs. So, oviparous. Just underline in your book, children. Ornithorhynchus platypus, right? It lays eggs. And then next one, kangaroo, right? Kangaroo, viviparous. Canis, another example is canis, that is a dog. Felis, cat. Devangu we say in Tamil, right? Loris. Some other examples are delphinus, that is dolphin. We say it as a fish, but it is a mammal. It gives birth to a live young ones and they feed their young ones with the milk. They possess the mammary glands also. So, we classify the dolphins under the mammals. And then pangolin. It is also a mammal. So, these are all the examples of class Mammalia, and we human beings, we also comes under this Mammalia, and when compared to others we are of higher intelligence. So, children, with this session comes to an end. So, with this the second chapter is over, and along with this chapter we have attached the study material, assessment and question bank for this lesson. Go through it and write down all the scientific names along with their common names in your notebook, and it may be asked for the match the following in your exams. Thank you children, have a nice day.